Hello, everybody. Welcome to Developmental Psychology. This is an online class that just meets the last 8 weeks of the semester. I'll introduce myself in a bit, but I want to go over some things that are really important about the class. And the number one thing is that we go very fast in this class. So we are just meeting the last 8 weeks of the semester. And so we go more than twice as fast than a normal class, which also means that you have twice the amount of work as a normal class because it's condensed into half the semester. So it's really important that each week you have quite a bit of time to devote to this class, or else the class will not go very well. And the other thing about it being twice as fast as a normal class is it'll be very hard to catch up. So if you are falling behind, it will be very difficult to catch up because there won't be much time to catch up in this class because it is so short. So what I'll say is make sure that you're able to devote a lot of time to this class each week, or else you might not be successful. So you might want to think about your work schedule, and if you're taking other classes, keep in mind that your other classes will be finishing at the same time as this class, and so your other classes may actually have a little bit more work in the end of the semester than it's been so far. So think carefully about your time. I will say that if you feel like you don't have the time to devote to the class now, it might be better to drop and to retake this class. And so there will be this class in the intersession. So the intersession is in January, and very likely you won't be taking any other classes. You can just take one class for the intersession, and that's a good way of sort of concentrating on one class, getting it done. So that's an option. Also, this class will be offered in the spring. And so you can also think about taking this class in the springtime too. So again, think carefully whether you have enough time to devote to this class right now, and then know that there are some other options. So what I'll say is here's some big keys to success in the class. I would say start work early each week. So not only is this a fast class, it's half the time of a normal class. It's also online. And so my experience with online classes is that people who succeed the most start work early in the week. So start work early in the week. It will be more of a relaxed way to learn everything. You won't feel a lot of time pressure. And if you need a little bit more time at the end of the week to do things, you have it. Try to avoid doing things at the last minute, doing things on the day that they're due, or doing something at the very end of the week. That leads to a lot of stress, a lot of panic. You won't be able to learn very well in those circumstances. And it's a very difficult way to sort of do an online class. So please start work early in the week. And then another sort of key to success is to watch all Canvas announcements. So I will make at least once a week, if not more, announcements on Canvas, typically as a video. So please watch those videos carefully. I also will post videos related to the assignments. Watch those videos carefully also. Again, I find that students who do well watch those things all the way through. Students who don't do as well don't seem to watch those things or look at those things, and they have a bunch of questions and then they're not sure what's going on, but all of that stuff is in those videos. So make sure that you follow those two keys for success. Start early in the week, watch all the videos that are posted. And do note, because we are such a short class, there's a very quick turnaround in terms of finding out who's in the class. And just like any class, whether it's online or in person, if you don't show that you are actively involved in the class, you could be dropped. This is a federal law. Also for this class, I have about 21 students who want to get into the class. And so there's a very short deadline for them to add the class. And so I need to figure out who's actually in the class so I can let people in who are on the waiting list. And so one big way that you show that you are in the class is to do some early assignments. And so there is a discussion that you should do very early in the class, and there's also a paper that's due Sunday. So that's next Sunday, October 30th. And so make sure you do both of those assignments, do them on time, and that will show you you're in the class. The discussion is due Wednesday, so that's Wednesday the 26th by 11:59 p.m. And so make sure you also take part of that. That will help set up the rest of the week for you and also show me that you're in the class. Again, if you don't do those assignments on time, you might be dropped. It's called census drop. And it just is because you're not showing that you're actively involved in the class. So please do those things because you might be dropped if you don't do them because I want to let in people who are actually interested in the class. Okay, let's get to more about the general class. So those are some things to keep in mind and some things that are very important to know right away. And so my name is Kevin Carlson. I'm new here at San Jose City College. This is my first semester here, but I have a lot of experience teaching in other places. And in terms of talking to me or emailing me, all of these types of different things, you can feel free to call me by my first name. You can call me Kevin. Or if you want to use more formal titles, you can say Professor Carlson or Dr. Carlson. That's fine. And if you like to do a mixture of both formal and informal, you can call me Professor Kevin or Dr. Kevin. Just don't call me Mr. That's not the appropriate title. I have a PhD, so if you want to use a title, it's Doctor or Professor. But I don't care about titles per se. Uh, you can call me Kevin by my first name. Just don't call me Mr. That's not the appropriate title if you want to do the more formal thing, but you can call me Kevin. So I want to do a quick overview of the syllabus. I'm not going to read the whole syllabus to you. The syllabus is posted on our course in Canvas, and it is actually the first thing in our course. So you can read the details by downloading it and saving it, but let's just go over some rough information here. So I do have office hours. They are listed here. This is an online class, so those office hours are also offered on Zoom. And so for all the office hours, that's the Zoom link right there. And so being online, you might prefer to have a Zoom link. This class, as you probably know already, it's fully online, so we don't ever have live class meetings. Everything's done online, and it's done at your pace. So whenever you want to do the work, everything's up there ready for you to do it. Our textbook is free. It's an online textbook. There's the link right there, and it's free. I read it online, but you can download different versions of it. So there are options for downloading it if you want to download it, or you can just read it for free online. So there's no cost to the textbook. So I already mentioned, make sure to watch for the Canvas announcements and to also check your emails because I will also communicate with you by email. So make sure that you check your emails regularly. We don't need to go over the course description per se. Basically, this is a lifespan development class, and so we go from prenatal development to when somebody dies. And so we do the whole lifespan in this class. You can read the student outcomes. So these are the important dates, and so I mentioned already it's a quick turnaround to let people into the class, and so make sure to complete those assignments early. Show me you're involved in the class, and you won't be dropped. I will drop people especially in a case like this where there's lots of people who want to get in. So do show that you're involved in the class. And those are dates that you might want to look at. So obviously all their stuff is online. So you'll use Canvas to watch the lectures, to do your assignments, to do your exams, all of those things. Everything's on Canvas. So, there are due dates. So the official due dates are always on Canvas. I'll stick pretty close to what's in the syllabus, but always check Canvas for the due dates. And there will be a late penalty for late work. However, I know that there's lots of life stuff going on for people. And if something is going on and it's affecting your work for this class, please let me know. And I'll try to make whatever arrangements, extensions, plans to help you still complete and succeed in this class, despite perhaps facing some challenges. On that note, what I would say is that if you are facing a lot of challenges right now and you think that they may persist for a while, this class may be something that you might want to take later, another semester, because this class will be very demanding in terms of time. So I'd be a bit cautious if things are going on that might limit your time right now. But if something happens and it is causing problems with your work, let me know. I always, for some reason, even when I say that, students seem to be reluctant. Maybe they feel like they're asking for too much, or they feel bad about asking for extensions. Don't feel bad. Basically, if something really is going on, I'll work with you. And my experience is that people typically don't abuse it. So typically, I would not want somebody just emailing me and saying, "Oh, I got called into work today at the last minute. I can't do this thing." I wouldn't be so sympathetic with that because you should plan for that ahead of time. You should do work early. But if people truly are having some issues that are major issues or substantial issues, let me know. So again, I feel like most people are shy in asking me about that, but don't be shy. Also know that if you need help, resources, support, we have a case manager at City College. You can actually search on the net. Just search SJCC case manager and it will take you to the mental health page. And on that mental health page, our case manager, her information and contact and office hours are listed on there. So that case manager can help you get therapy, can help you get resources, whether it's on campus or off campus, to help you with a variety of issues that you might be facing. So again, let me know what's going on if something's affecting your ability to work, and I'll work with you to succeed in this class. Okay, let's go into some of the things we're doing. So actually the first assignment is the study review paper. And there is a more extensive video about this paper. But basically this is having you read some research, a research article on a topic you're interested in. And basically this is going to just get you into some research on development and see how research is done. I know that this might even be your first psychology class, so I'm not expecting a master's thesis or doctoral dissertation. I know that you might be new to psychology, but everybody should be able to read some psychology research and think about it. So I really want you to get thinking about some research by reading some actual articles that have been published. And it's very doable for most people. And again, there'll be a video on Canvas. It's actually there right now that will help you through this assignment. So watch that video. And this will actually be the first step to your larger paper. So we are going to be doing a community need research paper, which is listed down there. Basically, I want you to choose a topic that you're interested in and you want to learn more about it. And so it's also something that you can think about how it might be something that's affecting people in our larger community here. And so it could be something that's a problem, So for example, it could be, let's say, substance abuse in adolescence. And so that could be my topic. I could look at substance abuse in adolescence, what causes it, and then how could we prevent it, or intervene or treat it. So that could be your paper. And the study review paper is the first step in that paper. So coming in, for sure, you'll probably say, well, I'm not really sure. I don't really know much about this topic, but it seems interesting to me. The study review paper will give you an article that you can read, and that's how you'll start thinking about that topic and where you want to take it. Also, the topic of the paper could be not a problem, but just something that you think that there would be something that we could look at in terms of the community need, in terms of promoting optimal development. So, how do we help kids, adolescents, adults deal with something and develop optimally within that framework? And so, a good example of this, let's say homeschooling. So, homeschooling is not a problem, not like substance abuse. Substance abuse is a clear problem. But homeschooling, we can say, okay, there's homeschooling, people are doing homeschooling, but how can we make sure kids optimally develop in homeschooling? So, maybe I would look at how can we promote social and emotional development with kids who do homeschooling. So, that can be my topic also. So, the study review paper, I could read an article about homeschooling and how social emotional development is affected. And that would be my first start for that topic. And so for your study review paper, choose an article that's related to some topic that you want to do for your bigger paper. Again, don't worry about not knowing anything about it. You don't need to know anything about it. You will learn by reading some articles. Also, don't worry about not having a specific direction. You might not have a specific direction. Maybe you want just think, oh, substance abuse. Well, okay, you can find some articles on substance abuse and then see where you want to take it. Do you want to take it in terms of substance abuse of parents, in terms of prenatal development of their children, or parents who use substances and how that affects children's development in terms of early childhood? Could be adolescent substance abuse. It could be adults. So, how do we approach adults who have substance abuse? So, you could start off broad and then narrow it down as you read things. So, again, don't be too panicked. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know a lot. You'll learn from reading some things. And you don't have to have a specific direction at the moment. You can have a topic that's kind of general, and as you read, you'll focus your topic. And so, I don't want people to panic and start thinking about what their final paper should be like. Just right now, go step by step. The first step will be thinking about a topic, and then choosing an article about the topic, and then doing this paper. That's your first step. And I'll give you some feedback about your topic choices, and also the article that you'll be reading as part of this first step. So don't worry, I am here to support you and to guide you through this process. And the paper, you might say, oh, it's 200 points, but there's smaller steps to it at least. There's a bibliography step, there's a peer review process. So there's some points you'll be getting as part of this 200 points in total a little bit earlier from the final project. And again, it's geared towards taking small steps. So if you do each small step, keep on track, this will be very easy for you to do. Avoid not doing the small steps or blowing off the small steps, because if you do that, then it could be very stressful. So just keep on top of it, do the small steps, and it will actually be quite easy. And then we have 4 exams. So we have 4 units in the class. And so 4 exams. They're non-cumulative, which means that each exam is just about the stuff from that unit. We don't have a cumulative final or anything like that. So we just have 4 units and 1 exam for each unit. The exams are open book, open note, uh, open internet, but I would advise you not to use the internet much because it often gives you bad answers, wrong answers. But you can't talk to other people in the class, so it should be your work. But you can use the textbook, you can use the video lectures, PowerPoints, materials from the class, no problem. Open book, open notes. It is essay. Some of them are quite short essays, and some of them are a little bit longer, but nothing super long. And then the format for the essay exam here is to have bullet points. So I don't want full sentences. I don't want full paragraphs. You can just make bullet points for the answer. And we'll talk more about that uh, when we get towards our first exam. And so the essay format, again, will be open book, open note, and it's also untimed. So it's not timed. So this should be a sort of a stress-free exam, I hope. Again, the key is to start work on it early. I would say, try to do like maybe 3 or 4 questions a day if you can, and that will be a good pace and you'll finish easily. If you sit down 2 hours before it's due and try to do it, I think you're going to have a very difficult time. So take advantage of the structure that it's untimed and open note, open book so that you can do it well and do it over time and relieve some of your stress. And then we'll have 3 online discussions. And each of those online discussions will be 10 points each. And so we will talk about those discussions. You have one discussion early this week, and I'll make a video discussing that. You can read through the rest of this. What I'll say is on the exams, uh, don't cut and paste. It should be in your own words. So even though you're allowed to use PowerPoints, lectures, textbook, don't just simply cut and paste from those sources into the exam answer. Put the answer in your own words and especially avoid using the internet. So do not cut and paste from the internet. If you cut and paste from the internet, that's plagiarism and you'll end up with a 0. And that will be very difficult for you to overcome. A 0 for the whole exam. And so please don't do that. Also, don't use the internet because the internet can have wrong answers. So I do believe in this day and age of sort of people have been doing online testing for a while. And I believe that some people have gotten into the habit of just simply looking up the answers on the internet and cutting and pasting the answers. That is a very dangerous habit to get into. So I strongly recommend not using the internet. Use the class material. Everything's open for you during the exam, so you can look at it and find the answers. So use the class material. Don't make life hard on yourself by going to the internet and losing a bunch of points or possibly end up plagiarizing something on the internet and being caught with that. And then that will turn out to be kind of a bad situation. So avoid using the internet, even though it seems like the easiest thing to do. It could lead to not passing this class and not getting a lot of points. And so please try to avoid that. Use the class material. So just let me know if you have any feedback, if you want things done a little bit differently. I'm open-minded about the class. I want the class to be something that everybody enjoys and learns from. So just let me know if there's some things that you want done differently or want a little bit more. And so here's the calendar. It's tentative, so there might be some changes, but what I'll say is that we will pretty much stick with this schedule. And you'll see it's fast. And so basically, this is like my class schedule for the regular semester class, except I have to crunch it up because we have half the time, and so we have twice as much each week. And so for each week, there'll be the readings, there's the topic, and the chapter readings from our textbook, and then the assignments. And so you'll see that there's an assignment, the online discussion, which is due Wednesday, and then study review paper, which is due actually Monday. I said Sunday, actually Monday. But notice that due date's on Halloween. So if you do things for Halloween, I would keep that in mind and make sure you do that assignment earlier than the due date, which I think is a good strategy overall. Then you'll see, week by week, I'm not going to go over each week. I'll make a video about what we're doing each week, but I won't go over every week right now. I will highlight, though, do notice that we have an exam next week. So there's an exam on the first three chapters, and that's going to be due on Thursday, November 3rd. And so the reason I'm bringing that up is it shows how fast we move in this class. And so in the regular class that I have, uh, we usually have maybe at most one thing that's due a week. And sometimes there's weeks that we don't have anything due. But in this class, it looks like we have, uh, on average, two things due a week. And so that just sort of shows you how fast we move. And I just want you to be mentally prepared to do that. So that's it for this little welcome video. Welcome to the class. Please keep in mind what I've said in terms of how to succeed in the class. And, if you keep up, start things early, keep on pace, this class I think will be very doable and very easy for you. If you start falling behind, blowing things off, I think it will be extremely difficult given how short the class is. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope the course goes well for you and take care.